Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. I am your host, Sandi Ballard, and thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And thank you, to listener Steven, for connecting with me on social media. He reached out to me on LinkedIn, and so I appreciate that, Steven. Cheers, dude. So, wow. All I can say is, what a week last week was. With this move, with all the work we haven't moved yet, so all the preparation for the move, with all the work we had to get done fast on the house to get it ready, and had a moving sale last week. I mean, it's just been super chaotic, super emotional. I've had to call in all kinds of favors, beg, borrow, and steal, that kind of story. And, when you do things like this and that fast, it brings out the best and sometimes, unfortunately, brings out the worst in people. So I've seen the best with, people I am just amazed by, the support and encouragement. And then, unfortunately, I did happen to have someone that I thought was a friend, an early on friend and a colleague, show lack of understanding and lack of support. So it's been quite the roller coaster ride. And the last couple of weeks, so it was interesting that this happened to me because sometimes the things I talk about in the podcast are things that have happened to me, life experiences, or clients, or just random thoughts. But this time, the last couple of weeks' podcasts have been about finding the people who bring out your best, finding those who help you build your confidence. And again, even like in last week's podcast, even if they're playing devil's advocate, that is to help you do your due diligence, do more research, to really dig deeper, to find your why, and ask the tough questions. Because starting something new, being in business, doing any kind of big change is not easy. You learn how to find the supportive who in your environment and clearing out the negative nellies. Guess what? I did find the one. Giant ass, unsupportive, non-understanding person that blindsided me. And so needless to say, I did remove her from my world. Because there's just certain levels, certain bars you don't cross, certain lines you don't cross, I should say, right? And it's not easy for anyone to ask for help, to be honest about personal challenges, especially when shit is going sideways. And when you ask for understanding and you don't get it, you have to realize that sometimes people just can't put yourself in their shoes. They can't understand, or they just don't want to. And I have a friend who, a few years ago, who went through just a huge time like this, where multiple people she thought were friends, just acquaintances, nice people, colleagues, not just talked shit about her, but attacked her business model and her business concept. They were not supportive. And it's like, are we back in high school with all this backstabbing, petty drama, and spreading false truths? That shouldn't happen back then. And it most definitely shouldn't happen when we're all grown-ass adults. It's all about communication, and it's all about not being petty, being just a good person, right? What is it, the whole kind movement right now? But I have to say, I was shocked as hell about what this person did and said to other professionals about me. And my friend I went through that with her, and it was just, I was blown away by how catty and petty adult women can be. And that's what everything I've ever worked towards with the Bitches and Booze and with the Taboo Quarterly Women's Luncheon, everything I've worked for in my talks about truly supporting each other. Women or men, all of the above, truly supporting each other. So, ties back to the last few weeks of podcasts, whether someone is playing devil's advocate or if they're just being negative. Do you need to evaluate who is in your world? And use this as a reminder to keep being you, to just be you. And I've said it before, say what you mean, but you don't have to be mean. Again, Do you and be you. Your environment does not need to be full of petty, bullyish type people. And they tend to do that shit because of their own fears and lack of confidence and lack of accomplishments. So, you don't deserve to have those people in your world, and they definitely do not deserve you. And I was just talking to my tribal council member, Tiffany, about this, as she's very close to this situation. Her and my mentee, Angelica, it was so interesting, I guess, good timing, is they both were talking to me about how they want to go back and talk to teens to get into the teenage world. And I'm sure someone has done this somewhere, but they're very passionate about getting to the teens to talk to them about the mindset there, even both sides of it. Perhaps someone in the audience has been a bully or, picked on people or said shit about them. And then on the other side, someone who has been bullied or picked on, who's sitting around wondering, am I that truly bad of a person, or what did I do? Getting them to understand that it's not them, it's her or him. It's the other person many times, because like I said, their lack of confidence, their lack of accomplishment, they're just embarrassment. So they distract by picking on someone else. And it's so interesting that all this sort of happened at the same time. So I love the fact that Tiffany and Angelica's passion to get, into the teens before they turn into these awful catty women, and learn how to truly support, and before you become an adult, understand, if you've been on either side of that, how to shift your mindset. So when you release that, because if you release that feeling of what did I do to deserve this, it helps you not live in their world, because misery loves company. Because when you continue to be you, be authentic, be amazing, be confident, that tends to shut everything down that's negative in your world. And there's always, like I've always said, there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be things we need to overcome and talk through. So this week would be a good time to continue to think about how you're supporting other people and how other people in your world are supporting you. All right, email me, sballard@growingforward.biz, if you are having trouble working through this, or, no matter what side you've been on. All right, I want to make sure we're continuing to think deeper about who's around us, think deeper about the type of person we are, and how we can continue to help each other build confidence, support each other in our dreams and goals. And yes, there always has to be a little devil's advocate in there. Otherwise, we would not stop learning and achieving and digging deeper to play bigger. All right, so email me again, sballard@growingforward.biz. And remember, with all of this that happens, communication is key. So remember to communicate, especially if you're not quite understanding the other person and what's going on. All right, have a great week. I look forward to hearing from you and connecting with you on social media. Cheers.